What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're going to find out whether or not it's worth it to take Bison A5. And I'm going to explain why in a second, but some of you are probably wondering, how the hell did I get him to A5? Well, I ended up making a couple more purchases in the shop. I bought a couple of these Volume 2 packs. Well, actually, I bought one more of these packs so I can make sure I get Chun-Li to A5. And then I also bought two more, I think. Whoops, my bad. I bought a couple of these packs right here. So I ended up spending about $200 more on top of what I've already spent. And, you know, normally I don't do that on these collaborations. I mean, I am a bit of an orca. I do spend a little money now and again in these games. I am a content creator, and I do want to bring you guys the content for these characters, especially them leveled up. But Street Fighter is very special to me. They're just one of those franchises that I've always loved. Love Bison, and Akuma here is easily one of my favorite characters in all of fighting games. I mean, it's Akuma, right? I mean, he's just everywhere. And yeah, I just decided to go all out, and I actually did get him to A5. I was actually very, very happy to be able to do that. And you guys will actually get to see a little bit of damage from him at A5. But today the focus is Bison. Is it worth it to take him to A5? And we're going to actually be doing a little comparison with just him alone and against Nostalgia Chun-Li. And this is actually a really unfair comparison to Nostalgia Chun-Li because she isn't even an SS character. She's just a regular FS character that you can actually level up. The reason Bison might be really awesome for a lot of you guys out there at A5, right? At A5, you actually will unlock this right here. Now, this is pretty wild. Increase all enemy damage received by 30% for 15 seconds upon use. That means like everybody on your team for that entire 15-second duration is going to get this increase all enemy damage received, right? This is a meta effect that makes characters way, way stronger. And adding this on top of the increased damage received from the other characters that you might be bringing in, all the dots that you do, I mean, it's just OP. But there is some problems with Bison, and I do want to bring it to everybody's attention because it has been talked about a little bit by some other YouTubers out there like iRunman and Snow. Shout out to both of you guys, man, you're awesome. But you'll notice that Bison's attack is 1,250. And you're probably wondering yourself, well, is that a big deal? Well, here's the thing, guys. Let's go to Nostalgia Chun-Li, since we're going to be comparing to her anyways today, and look at her attack. 5,300? What's going on here? Why does she get such a higher attack? Now, you're probably thinking, Netmarble, I'm pretty sure, is probably saying, well, we did it to balance out the characters because Bison actually has a lot of attack buffs in his kit. Whereas Chun-Li, she's got 70% attack here. She has increased target damage received here, but she has no other attack. Whereas Bison actually has attack. Like, he's got some insane attack buffs, right? 70% here, 70% here, increased target damage received here. So he's got an extra increased attack by 70% on top of what Chun-Li actually has. So that might be making up the difference. But this is an SS character. And this character doesn't even have dot explosion, right? And that actually hurts him a lot as far as like game modes in the game, because I've shown in multiple videos that characters that have that nutty 5.5 times explosion, they can just do things that other characters can't. They can literally do so much damage in a short amount of time that they can bypass certain requirements or certain CP requirements in certain game modes, especially like a Reviving Hell's Dungeon. Right? Bison, you actually got to level up in order to do fairly well in Reviving Hell's Dungeon. And once you get up, like, you're going to have his EX skill unlocked. You're going to have to give him level 70 in order for him to really do well in that tier 70 in RHD. Whereas an A2 character like Luke, Ryu, Akuma, Chun-Li, they can all, like Terry, SS Terry, they can all, or Soul Bad Guy, I mean, there's quite a few of them that can actually perform even at A2, A3 in tier 70. Right? You don't have to put as near as much investment in those characters as you do a character like this. Right? So it's a real bummer that they didn't really give him that many attack buffs. And when you look at his defense, right, his defense goes up by 1,050, and Chun-Li's actually goes up by, 1,600, right? I mean, it's really strange how they did this. Really, Bison should add a little bit more. And, some things, a critique about the character that I'm going to throw out today is, as a standalone, like, you can use him as a solo character, especially against Omega Rugal. And he definitely can be used as a support with that EX core effect that he has, guys. But the thing is, he's very inconsistent against Nightmare Geese. I don't know about Omega Rugal, because Omega Rugal is actually weak to poison, or at least, on Infernal, you need poison to break the meter, and Bison does have poison. So this is something I'm going to have to test later on. But against Nightmare Geese, he doesn't have the relevant dot. So what ends up happening is you end up relying on other characters like Ryu to have the shock and Chun-Li for chill, or use a chill striker for Bison and just use Ryu's shock if you're not using Chun-Li on the team. Right, and it's kind of wacky to play the Street Fighter team when you're using Bison on the team against Nightmare Geese because you don't have the right dot. Again, you can get the right dot from Ryu here, and you can get the right dot from Chun-Li because you need Chill and Shock on Inferno. But because Bison doesn't have the relevant dot in his kit, you have to use a chill striker, which only lasts for 7 seconds, and it makes his damage very inconsistent. Now, there's other ways to go around this. I actually practiced for hours in Guild Raid, and I just found Bison to be very, very inconsistent. But what we're going to do today, guys, is we're actually going to do a little test in Spider Robot first. We're going to do two different tests in here to show you guys how much of a difference this actually makes. Oh, and by the way, just a little something to throw at you guys. In Reviving Hell's Dungeon, once you beat tier 70, guess what? Guess what? You'll get this 18 a day, and you still have to go all the way through this bastard every single day to get it. So doing that method with the Street Fighter team that I showed you guys in the last video is going to really suck if you're doing this every single day. So you're really going to want to level up your teams in order to be able to do this consistently every day with ease whenever you get to tier 70. I know for a lot of you that's a long ways away, but I'm just pointing out this is actually bullcrap in my opinion that we have to do this over and over and over once you clear tier 70. You do all that work, you clear this thing, and then you have to do it again over and over every single day. It's a bunch of malarkey, my friends. I don't like it. But aside from my little rant there, we'll go into Dungeon of Trials here, guys. Okay, so I got a little pre-recorded video for you guys that I'm going to go ahead and show you. And I'm going to be running the same card sets on Akuma. He's the one that's going to be doing the damage because we want to use Bison's core effect at EX skill to pass it along to the other opponents, okay? So let me show you what I'm talking about. We'll turn on, we'll go ahead and click the video on here. And here is just Akuma. We're just going to hit his Awaken skill and just spam him, okay? He's got the Rush Dungeon set on him, guys. It really doesn't matter, but you'll see how much damage he's going to apply. Now, I'm not going to bring in Mary. I'm not going to bring any striker. We're just going to leave Mary there as a striker, and I'm just going to spam my skills through one full Awaken rotation with Akuma. All right? Get it done, my friend. A5 Akuma, my friends, not even having the right dot applied. Fame system at level 11. Now, right there, guys, you can see that he got 341 million. Now, in the next little test you're going to see, I'm going to have Bison. I'm going to have that EX skill ready. I'm going to hit it so we get that increased target damage received by 30% and see if there is an actual difference using Akuma as a damage dealer. So we'll move along here and we'll go into the next run. Right here, okay? So you guys can see that the EX skill is ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that thing, and then I'm gonna switch to Akuma and spam my Awaken skill and see what the damage difference is. All right. Again, I'm not bringing in Mary. I'm just leaving her in there just as a, not using her as a striker. She's just there. Okay? And we got 341 million a second ago. And now we were able to get 395 million. So in this comparison, right, just, in one spammed Awaken rotation, we actually gained about 16% increase in our damage, which is a lot. I mean, that's actually very substantial. That's quite a bit. So like this effect that Bison has at A5, you have to have him at A5 to unlock that EX skill. Like if you were using him in Spider Robot and you were switching between him over and over and you're just using that EX skill, like I would finish this run here, then I would bring in Bison, use the EX skill, then bring in Chun-Li, spam her skills, right? Then bring back in Bison, use the EX skill again, bring in Orochi, then it might make a pretty big difference. I mean, a 16% increase is quite a bit. I mean, that is a lot, my friends. That is a lot. So like, against Spider Robot, you can see a pretty big difference. I mean, really, when it comes to other game modes, like, in League Match, it actually would make a difference because you could actually use the skill and actually increase your damage for your other characters if you wanted to. And Team Relay Dungeon, I don't think it's going to be really great here because once you use your Awaken skill, or once you use your EX skill, your awaken skill is actually on a cool down. And you really want to be able to just rotate through your skills over and over in this game mode. And really, this game mode is such a joke anymore. And to be fair, guys, Spider Robot's pretty much a joke anymore. So that's kind of why I put a lot of emphasis on Guild Raid, because that's the game mode people are always trying to push in order to get, the maximum reward so they can get BS and SS memories in here. Now, for the next comparison that we're going to do, guys, we're actually going to be comparing Chun-Li against Bison. We're going to be comparing this team right here. And what I'm going to do in this team here is I'm going to be using Mary as a striker for shock damage for 10 seconds. And we're going to be using Chun-Li for the chill, right? So we're going to have, chill and shock all here, and we're going to have the correct dot. And we're also going to do a run where we're going to have Bison right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, let me bring her in here, Kula as a striker for Bison. Kula's going to have 7 seconds of chill, and then we're going to use the shock from Ryu. So one difference here is that we're actually going to have, a little bit longer dot with Chun-Li, because we actually get 10 seconds of shock from Mary or Lady Ashira if you choose to use her. Whereas in here, we're using Bison, and we have to get the shock from Ryu, which does last. I believe it lasts for 10 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it does last for 10 seconds. So we still got 10 seconds of shock in both ways that we're doing this. But our chill is actually going to be a little bit different, because Nostalgia's Chun-Li's chill actually lasts, let me take a look here. It lasts for 10 seconds. So you get, 10 seconds of chill, 10 seconds of shock when you're using Chun-Li, and you get 7 seconds of chill and 10 seconds of shock when you're using Bison. That does make a difference, guys, because you don't have the both dots applied, and it's a lot more difficult to break the meter. Now, what you'll find whenever you're playing with Bison in Guild Raid is that he's very inconsistent, whereas Chun-Li is super consistent. Like, I can literally break the meter pretty much at the same spot every single time with her. Whereas with Bison, like against Nightmare Geese, it's very, very inconsistent. It's really kind of a pain in the butt, to be perfectly frank with you guys. And honestly, it requires more careful gameplay when you're using the Street Fighter team, because you actually have to use the shock from Ryu. Whereas when I'm using Chun-Li, I already got a built-in dot already on her with the chill, and I can just bring in a shock striker, right? I don't have to worry about using shock from Ryu at all. And you'll find that whenever I'm using Chun-Li on the team, I'm always using Ryu's dot explosion to remove the shock before I bring in Chun-Li. That way we don't break the meter too fast. And with Bison, I'm always going to do the dot explosion before I go into a 3PG. And then I'm going to apply the shock after the 3PG before I bring in Bison. That's going to be two big differences. But you'll notice that I'll hit the EX skill on Bison every single time before I bring in Akuma. And you guys, you'll see what the damage difference is. You might actually be surprised by this. All right, so let's pull it up. Okay, guys. So here we go. I got this timed pretty much exactly the same. And I did it this way, just kind of shorten the video a little bit. But on the left, Chun-Li. On the right, it's going to be Bison. Okay? Nice. And I do have Serena sets on both Bison and Chun-Li. Because, again, I'm using both these characters as supports, right? We want to use Bison to try to get that EX skill, so we get the increased target damage received, right? We're just using Chun-Li to break the meter, and obviously Bison to break the meter as well. And I'm telling you guys, we're going to do this for 1 minute. Both of these are going to be for exactly 1 minute. And you can take a look at the difference. And I have practiced these runs over and over, guys. I've spent hours doing this. And, there's always going to be variations in your runs due to critical hits, due to timing of things, due to meters getting broken at different times. Again, with Bison, guys, there's a lot of fluctuation in the damage, because sometimes he breaks the meter super fast, sometimes he doesn't break it so fast, and you'll find that the meter for him, like whenever you're applying your dot, the meter on Nightmare Geese, you want to get it down to about 60-65% in order for Bison to be able to break the meter at the right time. Oh yeah. So right there, Bison didn't really break the meter fast enough, whereas Chun-Li does it every time, guys. Every single time. Right? A character that you can easily level up throughout the game. You can easily farm for memories, make dimensional invitation tickets, and build her. Whereas Bison, you gotta get SS memories. It's kind of Like, but again, this is for Nightmare Geese against a Mega Rugal Inferno. It might be a completely different story because we actually have poison on Bison. I think in that situation, Bison will probably be a much better choice. But against Nightmare Geese, I mean, you guys be the judge yourselves what you actually think who would be better. I mean, as far as gameplay, it's not that difficult. It is more difficult with Bison because you got to really time using your shocks and your chills much better. There we go. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. And I believe on both teams I did take damage, so I ended up losing that 10% extra attack when Street Fighters are above 70% HP. Let's go. Let's go. And by the way, that's something else, guys. It's easier to keep my life up on the team with Chun-Li because I can break the meters so fast. It doesn't give Geese any time to apply the Raging Storm, right? I mean, actually, right now we have full life on the left side with Chun-Li. And so we're actually getting that extra 10% attack when our HP is above 70%, whereas on the right, we're not. And you just have to understand that, sometimes that's just the way things go, right? I mean, whenever you can't break those meters super fast and Nightmare Geese can break out the Raging Storm, he's going to have the darkness on the ground and you can take a lot of damage really quick like Akuma did. Now, right now on the right side, we got 2.3 billion, right? In 1 minute, 2.3 billion, right? And something else you're going to notice about this run is that because Chun-Li breaks meters so fast and you're entering 3PGs so much more often, you're actually delaying the timer more, which also allows you to do more damage. It's a funky thing, honestly, when I did this comparison. We'll do this 3PG, you guys can look at the damage numbers, but you can already tell, guys, their damage numbers are actually very similar. And again, if I wouldn't have lost any life with Akuma, we'd probably done better on the right side. But the thing is, guys, I mean, it's hard not to take damage because more than likely Geese is going to have darkness on the ground because you're not breaking the meter as fast because Bison's just super, super inconsistent. I mean, look at the score, guys. I mean, this is very similar. They're almost identical. So, like, in this test and then a bunch of testing that I've done already, against Nightmare Geese, the Street Fighter team, I'm not saying any other teams, the Street Fighter team just seems, honestly, it's a lot easier with Nostalgia Chun-Li. She's a much easier character to level up. She has the more relevant dot, at least for Nightmare Geese. I personally think that, like, I mean, this is going to vary as far as opinion, but I personally think you're almost better off just to use her for Guild Raid, but obviously against Spider Robot, we saw a pretty big difference in the damage whenever we use this EX core from Bison. There was actually a pretty large difference whenever we use this. But against Guild Raid, because we're able to go in our 3PGs more often, because we're able to break the meters much faster and more often with Chun-Li, it just allows us to do more damage over time. And that's where the difference actually lies between these two characters in this comparison. It doesn't mean that I think Bison is bad, but honestly, I really wish, like, as far as like his damage output, they would have just gave him some dot explosion to kind of make up for this crappy attack that they gave him. I mean, this really is pretty abysmal, guys, that they gave him such a low attack, and he doesn't have any defense that buffs up his attack. All of his attack buffs just increase his attack. He has nothing in his core, nothing in his kit that increases attack based off defense. If they did have that, it would make more of a difference to have, higher defenses on this character. I mean, granted, he is a defensive character, but because they don't have that, they should have just gave him dot explosion, to be perfectly honest. But as far as the core effect here, I think it's a useful thing, and I think it's good. And I do think for against a Mega Rugal Inferno, that it's probably going to be more beneficial because Bison actually has a relevant dot in poison. All you got to do is give him a bleeding striker, and you're probably going to break the meters pretty freaking fast because the poison actually lasts for 9 seconds, and we have 10-second bleeding strikers. And I think that honestly would make the difference. But against Nightmare Geese, thank you for the subscription. But against Nightmare Geese, I kind of feel like Chun-Li is the better choice, but let me know in the comments what you all think about this. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.